Scientists analyzed a total of 3,200 different breakfast foods to determine which ones truly support muscle-building power in older adults. Out of all those options, only 8 foods qualified for the list. And here's the surprising twist. Eggs weren't among them. For many years, people have been told that eggs are the ultimate food for building muscle. However, new findings from nutrition research journals are revealing something concerning. Once you pass the age of 60, your muscles begin to develop what scientists describe as anabolic resistance. In simple terms, this means that even though you are consuming protein, your muscles are not responding to it the way they once did. You may believe you're nourishing your muscles, but in reality, they may still be lacking what they truly need. The protein supplement industry rarely talks about this issue. The reason is simple. The 8 foods that actually work all cost less than $2 per serving. Seniors who maintain strong muscles often rely on simple, affordable foods instead of expensive supplements, and that reality doesn't benefit companies that sell costly protein products. Today, I'm going to reveal 8 breakfast foods that research shows can help rebuild muscle after the age of 60. One of these foods, the one ranked 5th, contains a particular amino acid that boosted muscle protein synthesis by 47% during clinical trials. Even more astonishing is the food in the 8th position. Researchers were so surprised by its results that they repeated the experiment 3 separate times, simply because they couldn't believe that just 1 tablespoon could contain more protein than a chicken breast. Before we get into the list, however, it's important to understand something. Your current breakfast might actually be speeding up muscle loss without you realizing it. I'll explain why that happens and show you what you should start eating instead beginning tomorrow morning. Make sure you stay until the end because I will also share a full 7-day breakfast plan that costs less than $3 per day. Here is a reality that most people never hear about in a doctor's office. Starting around the age of 30, the body slowly begins to lose muscle mass, but after age 60, that process speeds up dramatically. Research published in medical journals indicates that muscle loss can occur at a rate of about 3% per year. During this stage of life, by the time people reach age 80, as many as half of them are affected by a condition scientists call sarcopenia, which is the medical term for severe age-related muscle loss. To put this into perspective, studies show that between ages 60 and 70, roughly 5 to 13% of seniors already experience clinically meaningful muscle loss. Once individuals reach 80 years old or older, that number increases dramatically to somewhere between 11 and 50%. And this problem goes far beyond simply feeling weaker. Loss of muscle is strongly connected to falls, which are the leading cause of accidental death among seniors. It is also associated with broken bones, reduced independence, and even decline in cognitive abilities. But the research also delivers encouraging news. Muscles retain the ability to grow stronger at any age. Scientists from major universities have demonstrated that even people in their 90s can build muscle if they follow the correct nutritional strategy. So, the key factor involved is something known as leucine. Leucine is one of the 9 essential amino acids, but it plays a particularly important role. It acts like a master switch that signals your muscles to begin building. If your meals do not contain enough leucine, your body may essentially ignore the protein you just consumed. Research from the University of Texas shows that older adults require roughly 2.5 to 3 grams of leucine in a single meal in order to activate muscle protein synthesis. If that threshold isn't reached, your muscles do not receive the signal to begin rebuilding. That's exactly why the 8 foods we're about to discuss are so effective. They are not just rich in protein. They also provide the specific amino acids that aging muscles urgently require. Let's begin the list. Pay special attention to the 5th food, because what scientists discovered about it completely changed how researchers view plant-based protein sources. The first food should probably already be in your refrigerator. Greek yogurt, but it's important to emphasize that not all yogurt is the same. I'm specifically referring to Greek yogurt, and the distinction matters. A single cup of Greek yogurt provides approximately 17 to 20 grams of protein. Even more importantly, it delivers around 2.5 grams of leucine, which is exactly the minimum amount needed to activate the muscle building process. With just one serving, Greek yogurt reaches that crucial threshold. What makes Greek yogurt even more interesting is that it contains two different types of protein working together. The first is whey protein, which is absorbed quickly and reaches your muscles rapidly. The second, and actually the dominant protein, is casein. This is where the real advantage for seniors appears. Casein protein digests slowly. Research published in the British Journal of Nutrition showed that consuming casein before sleep significantly increased overnight muscle protein synthesis. You can think of casein as a slow, steady supply of muscle fuel that continues feeding your body for as long as 7 hours. One scientist described it as similar to having a personal 4 Vitamin drip delivering muscle-building nutrients while you sleep. Greek yogurt also provides calcium for bone health, beneficial probiotics for digestion, and B vitamins that support energy production. And all of that typically costs around $1.50 per serving. However, many people unknowingly make a mistake when choosing Greek yogurt that completely undermines its benefits. I'll reveal that mistake shortly after we cover the fourth food on this list. The next food is cottage cheese. If you have avoided it because of its texture, you might reconsider after hearing this. Researchers at Florida State University conducted a study showing that eating cottage cheese before bedtime produced muscle-building results comparable to those of expensive casein protein powder. The benefits were essentially the same, but the cost was much lower. 1 cup of cottage cheese contains approximately 28 grams of protein along with about 2.5 to 3 grams of leucine, which easily surpasses the amount needed to trigger muscle protein synthesis. What makes cottage cheese particularly valuable for older adults is that around 80% of its protein content is casein. Once you eat it, amino acids are gradually released into your bloodstream for several hours. Scientists have measured this release lasting 6 to 7 hours from a single serving after the age of 60. This slow release becomes extremely valuable. While you sleep, your body enters a fasting state and muscle breakdown can increase. Cottage cheese helps create a protective effect by continuously supplying your muscles with nutrients throughout the night. According to a Cleveland Clinic nutritionist, casein protein supports your cells with a steady flow of amino acids over a longer time period, helping muscles recover instead of deteriorating. If texture is an issue, cottage cheese can easily be blended into smoothie. You can mix it with cinnamon and berries for a sweet flavor, or add herbs and use it as a savory dip. The next two foods may surprise you, especially if you don't usually consider fish a breakfast option. But wait until you hear about the results of the fifth food in clinical studies. Researchers were genuinely shocked. The third food is sardines. You might be wondering whether sardines really belong at breakfast, but the nutritional benefits are hard to ignore. A small can of sardines provides about 23 grams of high-quality protein, which is actually more protein than you would get from 3 eggs. But advantages do not stop there. Sardines are also among the richest natural sources of omega-3 fatty acids, delivering roughly 1.2 grams per serving. These fats play an important role in muscle health. A meta-analysis published in the journal Nutrients reviewed several clinical trials involving omega-3 fatty acids and muscle health in older adults. The results showed that daily intake above 2 grams contributed to measurable increases in muscle mass. One hidden factor contributing to muscle loss after 60 is chronic low-grade inflammation. Omega-3 fatty acids help combat this issue by reducing inflammatory molecules while increasing compounds that fight inflammation. Reduced inflammation improves muscle recovery and supports muscle growth. Sardines also happen to be very affordable. They can typically cost between $1.50 and $3, which is far cheaper than buying separate fish oil supplements and protein powders that provide similar benefits. You can try mashing sardines onto whole grain toast with a squeeze of lemon or mixing them into scrambled eggs. Their flavor is milder than many people expect, particularly if they are packed in olive oil. The fourth food is oatmeal. Some people assume oatmeal is just a source of carbohydrates, but research tells a different story. Oatmeal contains a special fiber called beta-glucan. In one study published in a sports nutrition journal, athletes who supplemented with beta-glucan for 4 weeks experienced significant improvements in grip strength, arm strength, and upper body muscle mass. This might seem surprising, but beta-glucan activates a biological pathway related to creatine signaling in the body. It also helps reduce inflammation caused by exercise, allowing muscles to recover more efficiently. Oatmeal becomes even more powerful when it is combined with a high leucine protein source such as Greek yogurt or cottage cheese. The slow-digesting carbohydrates in oatmeal help transport amino acids into muscle cells more effectively. A cup of cooked oatmeal contains about 5 to 6 grams of protein by itself. While that isn't enough alone, adding Greek yogurt increases the total protein content to well over 25 grams with ideal leucine levels. Oatmeal is also extremely economical. A single container costs only a few dollars and can last for weeks. Now, remember the mistake many people make with Greek yogurt. The problem is choosing flavored versions. Many of them contain 15 to 20 grams of added sugar. That sugar spike can actually interfere with muscle protein synthesis. The best option is plain Greek yogurt with fresh berries or a small amount of honey added for sweetness. At this point, we reach the turning point in the list. The fifth food completely changed how scientists think about plant-based protein sources for aging muscles. The fifth food is hemp seeds. Some people may feel uncertain when they hear the word hemp, but it's important to understand that hemp seeds contain virtually no THC. They are simply a food product, not a drug. From a nutritional perspective, hemp seeds are remarkable. They are one of the rare plant foods that supply all 9 essential amino acids needed for muscle protein synthesis. In scientific terms, that means they are a complete protein. Just 3 tablespoons provide around 10 grams of protein that is very easy to digest. In fact, hemp protein has been shown to be about 91 to 98% digestible, meaning your body can utilize nearly all of it. Hemp seeds also contain an ideal balance of omega-6 and omega-3 fatty acids, roughly a 3:1 ratio, which scientists consider optimal for reducing inflammation. They also supply the 3 branch-chain amino acids leucine, isoleucine, and valine, which work together to stimulate muscle growth and support recovery. One of the best things about hemp seeds is how easy they are to use. Their flavor is mild, almost neutral. So, you can sprinkle them on oatmeal, mix them into yogurt, or blend them into smoothies without noticing much taste difference. A bag usually costs between $8 and $12 and lasts a month or longer, making the cost per serving extremely low. Combining hemp seeds with Greek yogurt and oatmeal creates what might be the ideal breakfast for supporting muscle health in seniors. Complete amino acids, slow digesting protein, anti-inflammatory fats, and fiber that stabilizes blood sugar. The sixth food might be somewhat controversial for some people. It is fermented. However, the science behind its benefits for both muscle and brain health is compelling. That food is tempeh. Tempeh is often confused with tofu, but they're quite different. Both originate from soybeans, but tempeh is made from whole fermented beans that are pressed into a firm block. The fermentation process provides unique advantages. It improves protein digestibility by breaking down compounds that normally interfere with absorption. It also creates beneficial probiotics and prebiotics that support gut health. Recent research highlights a connection scientists call the gut-muscle axis, showing that the health of your digestive system can directly influence muscle growth. A study published in the journal Nutrients found that tempeh has significant potential to reduce muscle damage and improve strength after physical activity. A 3-ounce serving contains roughly 16 to 18 grams of complete protein. Tempeh is also rich in minerals such as manganese, copper, and phosphorus, all of which support bone health and muscle function. Interestingly, studies involving older adults have also associated regular tempeh consumption with improved cognitive performance. The fermentation process produces compounds beneficial for both the brain and muscles. Tempeh has a slightly nutty flavor. For breakfast, it can be sliced thin and lightly pan-fried in olive oil. Adding smoked paprika can give it a taste somewhat similar to bacon, but with far more protein and none of the nitrates. The 7th food is quinoa, an ancient seed that was highly valued by the Inca civilization. In fact, the United Nations declared 2013 the International Year of Quinoa because of its impressive nutritional qualities. Quinoa is another plant food that contains all 9 essential amino acids, making it a complete protein. Tick. 1 cup of cooked quinoa provides about 8 grams of protein along with 5 grams of fiber. Quinoa is also rich in lysine, an amino acid that many grains lack. Lysine is essential for tissue repair and muscle development. Studies estimate quinoa's protein biological value at about 73%, which is very close to beef at 74%. This means the body can absorb and utilize most of its protein content effectively. Quinoa is also naturally gluten-free, making it suitable for individuals with digestive sensitivities. For breakfast, quinoa can be prepared similarly to oatmeal using milk or a milk alternative. Adding cinnamon and nuts and berries creates a nutritious, sweet option. It can also be prepared as a savory dish with vegetables and a fried egg. Finally, we arrive at the 8th and most surprising food on the list. When scientists analyzed its protein concentration, they repeated the experiment 3 separate times because they initially thought the results must be incorrect. The 8th food is spirulina, a blue-green algae. Green algae. Spirulina contains approximately 60 to 70% protein by weight. To compare, chicken breast contains about 31% protein, eggs about 13%, and beef around 26%. No other whole food approaches spirulina's protein density. Spirulina also provides all essential amino acids required for muscle synthesis. Research published in the Journal of Dietary Supplements shows that spirulina improves antioxidant levels, protects muscles from exercise-induced damage, and may speed recovery. Some studies have even shown that spirulina can increase muscle protein synthesis while simultaneously reducing muscle breakdown. Its blue-green pigment, called phycocyanin, has powerful anti-inflammatory effects. Studies on athletes have shown that spirulina supplementation helps prevent muscle damage and inflammation following intense physical activity. Fortunately, only a small amount is needed. Research showing benefits typically uses doses between 1 and 8 grams per day. A high-quality spirulina powder usually costs between $15 and $25, but lasts for months. 1 teaspoon can easily be blended into a smoothie with banana and peanut butter, which masks its flavor completely. It can also be stirred into oatmeal. Imagine combining oatmeal, Greek yogurt, hemp seeds, and a teaspoon of spirulina. That single breakfast could provide around 35 to 40 grams of complete protein along with optimal lysine levels, omega-3 fatty acids, slow-release carbohydrates, and gut-supporting probiotics, all for under $3. So, these 8 foods, Greek yogurt, cottage cheese, sardines, oatmeal, hemp seeds, tempeh, quinoa, and spirulina, represent some of the most affordable and scientifically supported breakfast options for building muscle in older adults. If the list feels overwhelming, here is a simple way to begin. If I had to choose just 3 foods to start with tomorrow morning, they would be Greek yogurt, hemp seeds, and oatmeal. Greek yogurt reaches the leucine threshold in a single serving. Hemp seed supply, complete amino acids, and anti-inflammatory fats. Oatmeal provides beta-glucan fiber that supports muscle strength while stabilizing blood sugar. Together, they create an excellent foundation for a muscle-supporting breakfast. As promised, here is a simple 7-day breakfast plan. Monday, Greek yogurt with berries and hemp seeds. Tuesday, oatmeal topped with Greek yogurt and walnuts. Wednesday, sardines on whole grain toast with avocado. Thursday, cottage cheese with cinnamon, berries, and hemp seeds. Friday, quinoa breakfast bowl with egg and vegetables. Saturday, tempeh scramble with peppers and spinach. Sunday, spirulina smoothie with banana, peanut butter, and Greek yogurt. The total weekly cost for all 7 breakfasts is roughly $20 to $25. That equals less than $3.50 per day for protein-rich meals that support muscle growth and reduce inflammation. The key lesson from today is simple. After age 60, muscles require about 2.5 to 3 grams of leucine per meal to activate the muscle-building process. These foods make reaching that level both easy and affordable. Another important point from research at McGill University is that distributing protein evenly across 3 meals, rather than consuming most of it at dinner, leads to better muscle strength in seniors. Breakfast is no longer optional. It is the first opportunity of the day to support your muscles. And rather than consuming most of it at dinner, you could occur if you want stronger legs, improved balance, and the ability to remain independent, you now have the information you need. But knowledge alone is not enough. Action is what matters. So here's a simple challenge. Choose just one food from this list and add it to your breakfast tomorrow. Start with one habit, then gradually add more. Let me know in the comments which food you plan to start with. I read every comment and personally respond to your questions. If you found this information helpful, subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell. New science-based health videos are released every week for seniors who refuse to accept aging as a limitation. And in the next video, I'll reveal 5 breakfast foods that actually speed up muscle loss after the age of 60. Until then, stay strong, stay healthy, and I'll see you in the next video.